Hey, everybody. You are in the right place if you are looking for your social studies lesson this week. We are continuing, moving on to pages 66 and 67, which would be lesson 2. And the title of the lesson is called The New Jersey Colony. So last week we learned that a colony is an area that's ruled by a faraway government. So at this current point in New Jersey right now, not right now, but in our book right now, New Jersey was actually being ruled by Britain, okay, which is over in England across the Atlantic Ocean. So unlike today, the president and our government live in the United States and they're the ones who are making the decisions. But at this time, it was very different. All right, the colony was here in New Jersey, but the people over in England were the ones who were making the decisions. So today we're going to be reading about as New Jersey started to become a more popular state, there were some issues and continued to be some issues. We saw last week the Dutch, the Swedish, and the English were all here, and they had all gotten in different fights. But we last left off with the English were the ones who were kind of in charge and who occupied the state. So today, you guys are going to need this. All right, it says lesson 2 from your social studies. So make sure you have that in your packet. And then grab your book. If you don't have it, go grab it. We're on page 62 and 63, and it's called The New Jersey Colony. All right. All right, so let's read page 62 together. It kind of sets the stage for the lesson. All right, it says, exciting news is spreading through your village in the Massachusetts Bay Colony. The English have formed another colony west of the Hudson River. It's called, you guessed it, New Jersey. You hear that New Jersey has good land for farming. Your family has talked for some time now about moving from Massachusetts and starting a farm. You rush home to tell them the news. Okay. So Massachusetts, guys, is actually another state. So it would be actually, if you're looking at my map, this is New Jersey right here. This would be New York. Massachusetts would be above New York State. So that was a really, really popular spot, Massachusetts, where a lot of English people were living and developing their lives. Now, this was true at this time. New Jersey started to get really, really well known for its having such rich soil, and it was so great for farming. So there was a lot of people that wanted to come to New Jersey because of that. So this kind of sets the stage for what life might have been like at that time. Okay, so if we go to the next page, which is page, oh, I was way off with my pages. It's not 62 or 63. It's 66 and 67. My apologies. All right. So the title here, it's called New Jersey Divides. Now, I know divide means that's a math word, so I'm a little confused on what that could mean here. So let's talk about and read about what this actually means. Soon after New Jersey became an English colony, problems arose over boundaries. A boundary is a line that divides one area of land from another. Some colonists argued about where the land began and ended. Others disagreed over larger boundaries, including the one between New York and New Jersey. All right, guys, so a boundary, first of all, that's the first word in our packet. We want to write that down. It's on this page. A boundary is a line, and I'm going to have you write it's an invisible line. All right, you can't see it. It's an invisible line that divides one area of land from another. So we have boundaries on our school. So the boundary lines are, if we're talking about, we go out on our playground, you guys head for the swings and the playground, you keep going. Behind that, there's some trees and a little wooded area. That would be where the property line ends for the school. Usually, at our homes, not usually, I shouldn't say that, but sometimes at homes, property lines can be divided by something as simple as a fence. We'll divide that property line. But at this time, you guys can look at the map here. New Jersey was divided actually into two different areas. So there was West Jersey over here, and there was East Jersey, and there was a lot of arguments over where that boundary line actually was. So there was a lot of fighting going on too. That people on East Jersey thought they owned more of this side, and vice versa. People on West Jersey thought they owned more of this side, and that continued for years and years and years. There was never, for years, for like 20 to 30 years, there was never a clear cut decision on where that boundary line actually was. Okay, so let's go to the next section. It says some of the problems started when the Duke of York, which remember he was the one that named the state of New Jersey, gave New Jersey to two of his buddies, two of his friends. His one friend's name was Lord John Berkeley, and the other friend's name was Sir George Carteret. Both men became the colony's new proprietors or owners. Okay, so the Duke of York actually gave the state away to two of his friends. Now, these two buddies of his, John and George, they were also English, but the Duke just gave them to his buddies. Now, they became the proprietors. In our book, it says the word proprietor means property owner. So in your packet, for the second definition, I want you to write, instead of just owner, write property owner. So if you are a proprietor, it means you own property or you own land of some kind. Okay? So write that down in your book. Okay. So now we have two different men that own the state of New Jersey. The Duke of York now is off doing other things, and George Carteret and John Berkeley are kind of dividing up the state. It says in 1674, Berkeley sold his share of the colony to a religious group known as the Quakers, or the Society of Friends. In 1676, Carteret and the Quakers decided to divide the colony into two parts. The Quakers got the western half of the colony, or West Jersey, which would be this, and the eastern half of the colony, or East Jersey, went to Carteret. Each colony would have its own separate government. So Berkeley sold his land to a group of religious people known as the Quakers. Now the Quakers actually, if you go to Salem, the city of Salem, which we live in Salem County, the Quakers actually first settled in Salem City. All right, so the Quakers were in West Jersey, while Carteret and his people, which were the English, they lived in East Jersey. Now, at this time, they actually considered these two different places of the state two different colonies, which is pretty weird to think about. New Jersey, at one point, was West Jersey, which had its own government, and East Jersey was different and had their own government. They did not talk to one another to make decisions. They would talk to each other, but they didn't have to check to make sure decisions were okay with each other. The boundary between East and West Jersey was based on a poorly drawn map. So think about that. Back then, we didn't have satellite like we do today. Some guy just sketched something out and said, here's the boundary line. And that is what caused so many problems, this poorly drawn map, because it wasn't really clear on where the line actually was. So that caused a lot of different issues. For many years afterward, colonists argued over that boundary. Okay, so that's a really, really big issue, and it's going to kind of set the stage for what's coming. Okay, so what I want you guys to do right now is that's the end of the lesson for today. The last question I want you to answer, number one, says, how was the New Jersey colony divided and how was it settled? Let's write this down. The colony was divided into East Jersey for Carteret. So write that down. The colony was divided into East Jersey for Carteret and West Jersey for the Quakers. The colony was divided into East Jersey for Carteret and West Jersey for the Quakers. And that's the answer to number 1. All right, you guys do have some questions today in your social studies classroom. So make sure that immediately after watching this video, head on over to that and answer those questions now. All right, guys, I hope you're having a great day, and I will see you soon. Bye.